Hi everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 on Master Ninja difficulty with advanced techniques. This is Chapter 11, Night in the City of Water. This is the final female protagonist chapter, and it's pretty challenging, I've got to admit that. And for the first time in our game, the first time so far, we're seeing these exploders here. These are they're reskinned IS ninjas, and these, I would say they're reskinned Grey ninjas and reskinned IS ninjas. What they do is they grab you, but it's not really an issue because she's so fast, this character here. But that's her downfall, and I've got to say, this chapter is pretty damn hard. I used to think the grab is pretty tough. That's not the grab, they actually explode. Both versions, these guys and the IS ninjas. The main issue I had on this stage was unresponsiveness from the controls, and specifically being able to, from a standing position after Azuna dropping or doing the flying swallow or attacking, simply being able to evade away from away from all the danger. And a lot of people who play games like this that can't do this type of game, they'll blame everything except themselves. And the first thing they always do is they blame the controls. But I'm telling you, the controls here are very unresponsive. They work, they're functional. It's just very, very frequently you'll get into a situation where this character will not move. When I say that, I mean evade. She will not evade. So that it just makes for a really difficult level, especially one of the fights before the final fight we do. But anyway, Ayane, she's a pretty good character. I like this outfit the best. The other ones are kind of lame. She can't win path off heads, but what she can do is she can Azuna drop, she can win path. No, excuse me, I'm sorry, what am I thinking? She could win run, she can Azuna drop, she can fly swallow, and she can, what else can she do? She could throw these flaming incendiary shurikens here, so jump about right there, and you should be able to get off a UT on this section. Normally I go for money, I strictly go for money on this stage, but I said to myself, you know what, if I don't use any healing items, and use my Nimpo sparingly, I'm not going to have to accumulate money. So I'm taking a different strategy than I did the last two times. So if you're looking for a strategy about how to delim these guys and then UT every single one of them, with the exception of the IS ninjas, because those guys are a little different, you want to look at my other guides. So check my playlists. And a lot of people have trouble finding my playlist, but it's the easiest thing in the world. And if you can't do it, you really don't belong on YouTube. No offense. But what else to say about this chapter? I'm going to be doing things I'm going to be doing things the way I want to do it. Just bear in mind that whenever you're doing an OT, you're only getting yellow essence. So what I'm trying to do here, and it looks kind of humorous, is to kill this guy with throwing stars and get Nimpo drops. So in only one of the battles did I heal, and the only reason did I heal? I'm not sure if I healed, but I always run into the situation of I have too many grains of spiritual life. So jump right there, trigger these beasts right here. You want to do UTs here and OT them if you can. You probably should, actually. This first section is really challenging to get to the save point. Not because there's any kind of boss or anything, but just because there's just a lot of stuff. There's mages to deal with, the IS ninjas, and these are all enemies we've never encountered before, the exploding types anyway, and it's rather unfair in that respect, since for the first time we have to encounter them, whereas this character here, who's not very good. So what I like to do is spawn that fight and then run back. I believe you do unspawn a couple of enemies, but it's much better than fighting over there. I personally feel that like these chapters, Ayane, whether it be Ayane, Momiji, or Rachel, it should have been downloadable content. It would have been the perfect downloadable content. You shouldn't be required to do these chapters, and I think a lot of hardcore fans would agree with me. And if you do agree with me, leave a comment, because it's just when I play this kind of chapter, first of all, I'm not enjoying it. Second of all, I'm frustrated because these controls don't work, and it's pretty consistent unresponsiveness. It's like whoever made the main game did not make this, because whoever made the main game made it to work very, very well. And here, whoever made this, you know, there's a lot to be desired as far as the mechanical functioning of it. But who knows? Maybe the same person did it. I don't know, and more importantly, I don't care. What I do care about is not see that side road. Don't go over there quite yet. We're going to save it first, and always be aware that there's going to be a mage lingering over here. He doesn't follow us, but he stays there. He just stays there like Satan. So I'm trying to tear him up, getting some Nimpo. I believe by the time I got to the save point, my normal goal, by the way, is to get 10,000 in essence. But I think all I got when I got to the save point was like 2,000 or 3,000. So it was a lot. It was hardly any money that I had racked up because I wasn't doing UTs as much as I usually do. So, you know, $8,000 less. That could have bought me items, but the thing was, I'm not using items. So there's the trade-off there. So if you get into a bind, settle for an ET. Hopefully it'll limit these guys. It's either these guys have a ton of HP or her hits just are very, very weak. And I think it's maybe a combination of the two. So there's my Nimpo drop right there. That's a $5,000 drop. So I gotta really appreciate that and be grateful for it and not die anytime soon. But I believe all the enemies are dead. And what I like to do is go to the save point first. I'm aware of where all the chests are, but first I want to go to the save point. And save your progress first, and then smash the barrels until they both yield $1,000 each, and then resave it. See right here, 1,000 each. It took me like 20 tries to get that to work, but it will work. And if you could care less, don't do it. But at least try to get maybe one of the barrels to give you 1,000. Because that generally does happen. But to get both barrels to give you 1,000 is rather rare. So now we're going to go back over here and get an item. It's a good item. It's the Grains of Spiritual Life, but this is an ambush over here. And I imagine you don't have to do this fight. You could probably run away and unspawn these guys. But in this scenario here, I always like to get UTs on as many guys as I possibly can. And I also have the goal in the back of my mind to not take any damage. But I did this part many times, and in this take, I did get damaged slightly, and I just said to hell with it. And it made the next fight harder, but you know, on Master Ninja mode, it doesn't, such negligible damage that you have from the beginning of a fight on your person, it doesn't make a world of difference. So that was my thinking, and plus I had got a lot of UT kills. These guys are these guys are good money sources, so always, you know, strive to take care of these guys, and make sure you never come over here until you've saved it, because it's just, you know, you can die in one hit here. But anyway, I mean, the thing is, the next battle is what I consider to be the hardest battle in the chapter. But it's no different as far as the enemies as the final battle before Obaba. It's just that it's in such a confined area, and there's hardly any room to work with, and I always struggle. So my goal was to only use perhaps 1 or 2 Nimpo and 1 of the Grains of Spiritual Life. But I don't think I healed, because when I got to the end of the fight, I went to the corpse that had that pickup, and it said I couldn't carry anymore. So that led me to believe that I didn't use any. And that always happens, and it drives me crazy, but oh well. So the last time I did this guide, I did for the final battle before Obaba. I did not even use a single healing item. I just used some Nimpo. So if that can give you any confidence, I hope it does. Because once we get to the final fight, we get a lot of room to work with, and it's good. It's good that way, and it's a little bit bad that way, because there's a lot more open space for you to get nailed at. But it's better than the market where we're going to be fighting. The reason there's an edit right there is because I tried to grab the item off the course and fell down first. So anyway, now we're heading back over here. Going to save our progress, having got all the loot. Almost. Going to get this item here. I think it's a Devil's Way mushroom. Her Nimpo is very, very good. So, oh, excuse me, wrong item. All right, there I was just showing you what I've got currently. Now we're going to the very hard fight. What you want to do is at least try to get a beheading on this guy. Did I do it? Yeah, I got a beheading on him. Really good moves to do. The guillotine throw. Her Azuna drop differs from Ryu. What you've got to do is press square triangle, square, 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 square triangle. So you've got to press 5 squares. And it's very easy to get interrupted in her Azuna drop from other enemies who are close to you, because they'll just, if they're hitting you, you're going to get knocked off the Azuna drop. So if you ever get into a pinch, guillotine throw for iframes. So there's an Azuna drop right there. So check this out. Azuna drop, he's still alive. So I had to do another Azuna drop, and I think he was still alive. No, he's dead. But 2 Azuna drops, that's a little bit ridiculous. Just for a standard one of these guys here, I don't know. Maybe her weapons are kind of weak. I don't know. But don't focus on parrying too much. Just focus on getting these. The mages are probably the biggest problem, because they're so fast and they teleport. But just like in Ninja Gaiden 2, they really don't fully aggro if you're not looking at them. Meaning they're at their most vicious when you have the camera on them. So if you just run to a corner and start charging, they may teleport over to you, but they're definitely not going to be throwing projectiles at you and trying to have columns of fire rising up right where you're standing. But if they're ever chanting, get them out of that chant by starting a combo, hitting them. Fortunately, that isn't a drop took right there. I got the D-limb. What's going to happen here is we're going to do this fight here, and then it's going to be the halfway point, so to speak, but you don't get a checkpoint. And then you need to deal with 3 IS ninjas. And when those guys drop down, it's just that see this right here? I couldn't get the damn flying swallow to connect, and I was trying to get a Nimpo drop off this guy, and it was so many close calls. You could have grabbed me so easily. But it's better to be safe than sorry, so throw those shurikens. They may give you Nimpo drops, you never know. But a really good thing to do here is charge off that guy's essence right away and take care of these guys, because these guys will drop right on top of you and start slashing you. So I don't think I've healed yet. I haven't been really looking at that specifically, but if you do get pegged by an incendiary shuriken, use your guillotine throw to get iframes and get out of the damage from that explosion. And I had to use 2 Nimpo here, and I was trying to only use 1, if not 0. And it was just too hard. This fight is fucking hard. So now all 3 guys are delimbed, and victory is pretty much assured as long as you can just peg these guys continually with shurikens. But what I wanted to do was at least get one of my Nimpos back, but it never happened. So I got to the next fight with all my healing items and 5 Nimpos, which is pretty damn good considering I had to waste 2 over here. I mean, we will have to fight 2 sets of gold Vangels, but they're very easy to deal with. Plus, we get a checkpoint, a save point, everything. We get to visit the store. So here I was trying to do flying swallows, praying I would get a Nimpo drop, but of course, your prayers are never answered in this game. So that guy's beheaded and the battle's done. But that's a tough battle. Very tough. So you have 10,000. That's enough to buy me 2 Devil's Way mushrooms. So what I'm going to do now is head back. And normally there are barrels over here too, so you want to manipulate those if you want to. That course right there has a grains of spiritual life, but I already have 3. So I can't do anything with that. Just watch out for these guys. You know how deadly these guys are. So for some reason I fly swallowed that guy and killed him. Save it here. If you want to save it at the other save point to, conserve that heal, do it. But I had a grains of spiritual life to heal me, so that's what I had an extra one of those like I always do. And I'm going to leave in my shopping just to show you guys what I'm doing too, because the last time I didn't do it, and I think somebody had a problem with it. They wanted to see what I was doing, so here's another Devil's Way mushroom. There's a lot of item pickups on this level to be, it's pretty surprising. But here I'm going to interact with the corpse. See that? No more of this item can be carried. So I have all my healing items. I'm going to apply those 2, so I have 3 in my key gauge. And now I'm going to purchase 2 more, since that's all I can afford. But that's 5 uses of the Nimpo, all my healing items, and that's actually more than I need. So before you go to the next fight, you definitely want to save it, because it's a long fight. Okay, now we're going to the final section after the save point here, and we have a large fight that I believe it's one wave and then the same exact wave afterwards. So just try to get beheadings here and use essence. I did not use any healing items over here. I mainly used Nimpo, and if you didn't know, if you use Nimpo, your chances of getting another Nimpo drop or health is increased. So that's why I stick to using this strategy. Simply also because on Obaba, the Nimpo is pretty much useless. I did have 2 uses of it on her, but it's mostly used for getting iframes for a particular move that's rather hard to dodge. So as you can see, these are the same enemies we fought in the market. We've got these guys, we've got these red exploders here, we've got well, we don't have the IS ninjas quite yet, but we do have, we had mages. Oh, no, we still have a mage on the scene. He's over there, isn't he? But there's just a vast amount of room to work around in here, so you shouldn't have any problems. And if you get flustered or whatever, just go somewhere else, throw shurikens. I guess that mage was dead. But just keep using Nimpo. That's what I would suggest. And save your healing items for the boss, because she's pretty tough. She actually took me 50 minutes to complete. Damn hard boss. And I'm not trying to sound mean or anything, but I really don't appreciate people saying, oh, it's easy, you should have done this, you should have done that, it would have been easier. Well, you know what? You're not me. You don't play the way I do. You don't struggle the way I do. And some things that you do that you think are hard are probably easy for me, and vice versa. So please, if you could refrain from saying things like that, because it really offends me and bothers me. So this is the last guy here, and we're going to have a replicate wave, although we do have that IS ninja dropping in. So what I like to do is have a charge ready for that guy. And you also notice that when I was pegging that DLM guy with her shurikens, I was standing against the wall. I don't like any enemies to spawn directly behind me, because the mages are wont to do that, and it's very problematic. So, again, I would say that this is the easier of the 2 fights, but hell, it might be the harder of the 2 fights for some other person. And I always refrain from judging people's gameplay and stuff, because this game is not easy, and some parts of it are harder than other parts for other people, and vice versa. So as long as we can all respect each other, no one will get pissed off, and we'll be all good in Big Benedict's hood, right? Or at least I hope so. Because I don't block many people either. I just mark them as spam. But because a lot of the appeal of responding to these jackasses' comments is to leave the comment so everybody can laugh at it, and if you block it, it gets deleted, but then you can't block the person. But I'm getting way off topic here. So I used a couple of Nimpos right there, or at least one Nimpo. If you want to, you can just go around this whole arena. I mean, look how spacious this arena is. It's incredibly vast here. So, this is the last wave, and obviously we have another IS Ninja here. So, if you really want to, then this is what I did here. I was trying to get another Nimpo drop or some health. And as for Obaba, what I was going to say there for a moment was, if you want to, just go around and toss shurikens, or her version of them. I know they're not officially shurikens; they're something else. I don't know what the name of it is right now. But for the boss, I never had an opportunity to speak in depth on that boss before, so I'm going to do the same thing I did in the last chapter. Just have the fight in regular speed, and then I'm going to slow it down for the next clip. And it's not going to be quite half speed, but it'll be slow enough so I could talk about it. So this should be the end of the fight coming up right over here. And so Obaba, I don't like this boss. It's just really an awkward fight. But if you have enough healing items, you should be pretty much okay. So you notice I used no healing items that whole time. I focused on using Nimpo. So she's going to start off, keep your guard up, and then block. She does this twirl move a lot. So what you want to do is keep your guard up and avoid, just take the guard breaking attacks. It's not going to damage you if you're cautious. And just watch out for her spin. I don't like to be close to her, to tell you the truth, because she has a couple of grabs that require such fast reflexes. It's bizarre. So you notice she does this stomp on the ground, and she'll do it 2 times or 3 times. And whenever she's about to do it, you evade. You cannot block it, and you cannot, like the Tengu brothers fight, when they were coming down, you could block it, your guard would get broken, you wouldn't take any damage. It's not the way here. If she lands on you, your guard gets broken and you receive damage. So what you have to do is, there's a certain expression like on her body, like a certain posture. See that posture where she kind of lands and gets her bearing straight? That's what you really want to look for at the last second. But if she has done 2, you could count on it that she'll stop at 3. But it's that second one that always gets me. And that right there is a very fast move you've got to avoid. She also does a long tentacle grab with what is her left arm. This move right here, what I believe you have to do is wait until I don't know what she throws, but whatever it is, when it flashes, then you have to evade. I think that's how it is, but it requires very specific timing as well. So avoid, evade, and then go in for some strikes. Go in for a few quick strikes and then get the hell out of the way. The nice thing about this is that the game grants you mercy if you get grabbed. Sometimes, if you're at full health, sometimes you'll just get automatically killed. I think I get grabbed. I must get grabbed somewhere along the line, and basically before she actually slams you down and kills you, you have the opportunity to save yourself. So it's like having a talisman of rebirth. But I don't know what it is about this fight. It's really hard at first, and it gradually gets easier, but you've got to learn the pattern. You've got to play the game. See right there, I dodged when the projectile was flashing there. So all I really do is just keep my guard up, and then when I see her hitting or doing that twirl, I just back off. And for the most part, I actually wait until she starts that right there. So evade, going for a couple clean strikes with the square button. Don't overstay your welcome. If you do, that will happen. But you can avoid that move by pressing forward. Although, if you are trying to use Nimpo to immune yourself from damage, it doesn't register very much, and I don't know. It just it does not register. You've got to do it well in advance. It's not like reuse. I mean, nothing is like reuse. Nothing really works here. It feels like Razor's Edge all over again here. So I'm going to evade when it flashes. And she seems to stop stomping so much when she's down in low health. I mean, she does stomp, but it's not as frequent as it is in the beginning. So you notice she also does that backflip. Just evade that. And I was doing pretty well here, but I think I got grabbed, or something happened. If I didn't get grabbed, it would be a miracle. But there, I was in a bad spot, so always reset the camera and make sure you have enough visibility. So evade. Oh no, she stomped. No, you know what that was? That was input fail. That was input fucking fail right there. So much of it happens on this stage, so evade it. And a lot of the time, she's too far away from me. See, like right there? She's too far away from me to go in because this woman here has no range with her size or whatever they are, her daggers. So unless Obaba is very close to me when she finally lands, then I just avoid. But that move is going to take you some timing. When I first played this boss, she was constantly grabbing, but it's a pretty easy move to finally learn. But the only time she'll grab with both hands is when you're overstaying your welcome next to her and using melee attacks. It can be avoided. It's just that when I'm this close to winning, I don't want to take any chances. So I'm staying away from her. And of course she does this move here, which is really hard to dodge, and I got damaged. I used a healing item. I only have one left. She's grabbing. She's attempting to grab me. That grab might have killed me outright. Sometimes when you're at full health and she grabs you, you're automatically dead for some bizarre reason that makes no sense. and other times when you just have like a few hits, she'll grab you, and then she'll almost kill you, and then she'll give you a reprieve and let you use any healing items you have on board. But if you don't have any healing items, it's game over. But yeah, this took almost 50 minutes to do. It was ridiculous. And I never really liked this fight, to tell you the truth. So there she goes. I'm going to go in for a couple strikes. Just a couple, though. So I don't want to get grabbed. Okay, so here's the fight in slower motion. It's the same thing. So you notice how she always starts off with that move. I'm going for a couple clean strikes. Although she was swinging, so I evaded. And now she's going to do the spin attack, which she does very frequently. Keeping my guard up. Now she's doing this projectile attack. I'm casting Nimpo to have iframes. If you're close to her, you'll get a little bit of damage off, but see how it's not really crucial to have Nimpo here, although it does help. I mean, everything helps. So she stomped a couple times. All I use is square attacks. See right there? Nimpo again to immune myself from damage. I could have saved myself right there, but maybe the battle would have taken a completely different course. So if you want to, when she's swinging her arms like that and trying to punch you, you could block, evade, and then go in for a strike. But I don't like possibly getting grabbed after that. So she bounced. I'll just say bounce from now on. She's bouncing. So evade. She's stopping, coming to arrest. I'm hitting her a couple times. She's blocking. She blocks pretty infrequently. Most of the time, she does let you hit her. So that move is telegraphed for a very brief moment of time. Just always in the back of your mind, always just count on her to do that, because when she does it, you'll feel really rewarded that you actually evaded it. But just always prepare for that grab. I just don't agree with the grabs in this game. If you have Nimpo, you should be able to cast Nimpo and get out of the grab. That's the smartest thing that I could imagine that this game could possibly do to fix itself. So I don't really think it matters which direction you move the left analog stick when she's doing that tentacle, that long grab. As long as you are evading at the proper time, you can pretty much evade, or move the left analog stick in any direction. So she gave me some hits right there. She's going to roll back. I just always keep my guard up. And just keep her cool, and don't move around too much either. You don't want to move right into her grab. You want to be stationary and then react to it. So I haven't used too many healing items, fortunately. See how I was stationary there? Just kind of counting on her to do that move. And it's probably not the worst thing that she does, actually. I think her projectile attack is the worst thing she does. So she's stomping, too far away for me to do anything. I mean, there are things I could do, but I just prefer to do this method here. So she's throwing projectiles and waiting for it to flash. And even if you wait for it to flash and you evade, if you don't do it at the exact in the little, I mean, such a narrow window of timing, you'll get hit. It's pretty bad. But I'm just going to be really relieved when I can start playing as Ryu again. So there's a good evasion by me. Evade. She came to arrest, going for a couple of strikes, and then back off because she's going to grab. She's going to do that move, which you can avoid. You can avoid it, but I don't want to take that chance. 50 minutes into this, I don't want to take any chances here. And this bitch always gives me a problem. But it's one of those things when I was thinking to myself when I was playing this, it's one of those ironic things. It's so easy, it's hard. I know that makes no sense, but that's what the word irony is for. Because she's very predictable. She's got set patterns. It's just a matter of having the controls work properly and not being at the wrong spot when she's grabbing. So you need to be stationary, not moving around like a jackrabbit the whole time. And it's hard because she's a very fast character. So keep my guard up, going to evade. See, that is pretty widely telegraphed right there. Even in the heat of battle, you could pretty much know she's going to do it. And fortunately, she only does it with one arm, so it's not like you have to keep your eyes trained on both of her arms. It's only one arm. So, got damaged right there. Going to have to use a healing item probably. Oh, this was the moment where I had the bad camera situation, so I had to press R1 to reset the camera. Evade. Oh, there was the input fail. And now it looks like she's blocking a little bit, so I don't mind her blocking. If she blocked a lot, then I would get pissed, but, I mean, we can block, so the boss should be able to block a little bit too, I think. Plus, again, she does it infrequently. So there's a pretty close call right there. I saw that one coming a mile away. So she's almost nearing the point of death. We just need to keep hitting her a little bit more. See, I went in for a strike. What did I do? I jumped. Okay, so right there I jumped towards her. What is she going to block here? No, she's taking damage. I'm not going to overstay my welcome. She's almost dead, so I got in a lot of hits. I'm not sure if you get more damage off her if you hit the pink orb, but it's hard to get behind her. So now, I don't know if they do this on purpose. You know, when she's low on health, if she does that projectile spam more. It might just be my being far away from her. She's doing that move. I don't think she would do it if I was, you know, in melee range of her, to be honest. So, and it just seems also like she tries to grab more when she's almost dead. So that was a good evasion right there. Now she's doing this for the 50th time. Keep my guard up. Watch out. She's got a lot of range from it, but just keep your guard up. The first time that swing hits you, it's only going to break your guard and not damage you. So is this where I got hit again? Nope, I evaded that time. So avoid. It doesn't matter. Remember, it doesn't matter which way you move it as long as you evade it at the proper time. And she's just doing her thing. I'm doing mine. I'm keeping my guard up. Saw that one coming. Gonna avoid this. Get out of the way. See, try to grab again. Going for a couple of strikes. And just one more strike. If I could just hit her one more time. There we go.